A young Nick Cage approaches. Jon Voight!
Nick Cage, you never give up.
Never.
I love how the bad guys, like, are so obviously, like, have accents and stuff.
Yes.
It's, like, very much the British are coming again.
What? This?
Nothing.
It's nothing.
I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the most quoted lines of the early 2000s.
This was the trippy Illuminati part of the film. And I said, boom. So freaking creepy. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I think it's so funny just like how iconic this scene became with like the torches.
Yes. I would like to know how they got there that fast.
Just being an all-around shady dude.
So good. I don't care what people say.
We chose that movie because
Yes.
obviously Jon Voight. Oh, how you want to say it?
Voight? Jon Voight?
He's in it, and he plays Mr. Shaw, newspaper
Shaw.
guy. So
Poor Mr. Shaw, who never found out what happened to his son at the end of Fantastic Beasts.
Still a mystery. At least he solved a mystery in this film.
Yes, that he did. But the mystery of his missing son will never be explained.
Nope. Yeah. Never.
Never.
So, what did we think?
I mean, I love this film. I always love this film. I think I saw this. If I didn't see this in theaters, I definitely saw the second in theaters. And I was like so excited. I don't know. People give this movie like a lot of poop, but I love it so much. I know it's probably insanely infactual, and of course it doesn't, like, it's not real, but I love it.
Yeah.
This movie was always one of my, when I had to stay home from school because I was too sick, and my mom didn't want to stay home with me because she didn't want to take the day off. Like, this was my movie. This was the one. This and my Lipton noodle soup.
Yep.
These were my home from school sick, like, days. So,
this
I don't know. It's
like
so nostalgic.
The classic slumber party movie.
Oh, you had way better slumber parties than me. I wish.
This is like the movie everyone could agree on to watch.
Yeah. Oh. You know, Nick Cage, he gets a lot of flack, but I don't know. You're never going to hear something bad out of me about this film. You never will.
I think this was probably Nick Cage's best film.
Which says something. It really says something.
Yeah. He always has like the same pose with like the arms out from his side.
Yes.
With the leather jacket from the
Yes.
back. Like, it's every film he's in, they get that shot in there. I don't know if he's like, look guys, this is where I look the coolest. We gotta do this pose.
This is the one. And they're like, okay.
Haven't we done this like 20 billion times? Yeah, but he really likes it.
So how wrong is this film? Just time to shatter me.
Okay, so obviously we know there's no treasure hidden underneath Trinity Church, and yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not even gonna go there.
Unless we want to start digging. But I did a little bit of research on a couple things.
Okay.
So first of all, I wanted to see how many of the founding fathers were actually Freemasons.
Okay.
The best I could find is it's estimated 9 or more of the signers of the Declaration were Freemasons.
Interesting.
George Washington was, and Ben Franklin was.
Okay. So they got that right.
Yeah. But interestingly, Charles Carroll, the last surviving signer of the Declaration that gave, oh gosh, which gates is it? Is it Thomas Gates, the clue about the secret lies with Charlotte.
Yeah.
He was not a member of the Freemasons.
They could have literally picked anyone else.
Right. I feel like they picked him because they were like, oh, this is like an obscure enough name. Like if you pick George Washington or something, like, I don't know. It's like,
yeah. No, that makes sense.
Oh, hang on. Water is coming in my window.
Oh no.
It's starting to rain. Sorry, Luna. Okay. I'm back.
We're not getting rain till 11 o'clock.
Really?
Can't wait.
Yeah, it just like got super dark and is pouring. But anyway. So interestingly,
they couldn't pick George. That makes sense.
Yeah, and interestingly, Charles Carroll was apparently Catholic, and apparently Catholics were not permitted to join the Masons, otherwise they would be excommunicated from the church. Which makes it even more interesting that they chose this guy who literally wouldn't have been. But
seems like you did more research than they did.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting because I was like, well, why was the Catholic Church so against this?
Right.
So apparently it forbade its members to join the Freemasons in 1738.
Okay.
The church takes issue with the rituals of the Freemasons. In 1738, Pope Clement XII said he was suspicious of the organization, basically because they were sworn to secrecy. So if they were being so secretive, they must be up to no good and evil. Otherwise, they wouldn't mind their activities being publicized.
Interesting.
From 1918 to 1983, Catholics who joined the Masons were automatically excommunicated. The church still goes by the ban, and they say Freemasonry goes against religious beliefs, promotes naturalism, a deistic God, and religious indifference.
Interesting.
Yeah, so more than you probably ever knew about the Catholic Church and the Freemasons.
Same.
Who knew? Google did. The other thing I looked up was the Charlotte, the ship. There actually was a British ship called the Charlotte that went missing in 1818 off the coast of Newfoundland, but it was never found. So they made up that little part. They actually found it. This is interesting. So the clock tower on the back of the $100 bill, Independence Hall's clock tower is on the back of the $100 bill, and the time does look like it says 2:22, but actually it's supposed to be 4:10. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing confirmed that after National Treasure came out. It's actually 4:10. They had flipped the hands, so they got that wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's no reason why it's that time, as far as I could find, but that's the time. And then in 2013, when they did the whole redesign of the bill, and it's like now like colorful and stuff.
Right, yeah.
They actually changed the time to 10:30.
Why?
And they said the reason was for counterfeiting prevention. So, like, I guess the change would make it harder. Like, people would have to totally remake their engraving things and stuff. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And then the final thing I found was I researched the Silence Do-Good letters. Because apparently after this movie came out, a lot of people were wondering if there was actually a code in those letters. So basically, no. Ben Franklin did not hide a code about the Liberty Bell in his letters, because the letters were actually first published in 1722.
Okay.
The Liberty Bell wasn't purchased and commissioned until 1752. So he wouldn't have known about.
Yeah. That would have done that.
Yeah.
You know what people always said? People told me growing up that if I liked these movies, then I would like Da Vinci Code, because apparently Da Vinci Code is a better National Treasure. I never saw Da Vinci Code.
I saw
and then
it.
I heard
I didn't like it.
Yeah, and then when I heard how long the book was and how confusing it was, I was like, no, thank you. But for some reason, I always end up associating this with Da Vinci Code because everybody was like, oh, it's just a sloppy Da Vinci Code. And I was like, okay, sorry.
I mean, like you said, though, like when we were watching it, it's like believable enough. Like you obviously don't know, like you know it's not real.
Yes.
But like they did enough to like.
But enough that people were wondering if there was an actual code.
Right. They did enough to tie it into actual historical references. They took liberties, but a lot of it was rooted back, which is kind of cool.
When did? Oh, there it is. I was getting so confused. So I pulled up Jon Voight's IMDb page because, like, he old. So I was just curious, like, how long he's been in the biz. And his first acting credit was in 1963. Oh. He was in a TV series for one episode. And the TV show was called Naked City.
Oh, well.
You froze.
Do we want to do an R-rated SpeakBeasty
absolutely
movie not? Or X-rated, I don't know.
It looks like he was in a lot of his first film was in 1967. It was called Fearless Frank. And he starred as Fearless Frank. And then it seems like his career really took off from there. He had more TV, more film. It's a very like nice, diverse plethora. But I feel like most people. Oh, he was in one episode of Seinfeld as himself.
Wow.
In 1994.
That's like when you know you made it. If you go as a guest on a sitcom and you actually play yourself.
Right. You're just you.
Yeah. You don't need to have a character.
I forgot he was in Zoolander.
I don't remember that.
His character is Larry Zoolander. He was in Holes.
Really?
His name was Mr. Sir. But yeah, and then National Treasure came out in 2004. So this film is 16 years old.
Ooh, that hurts.
That hurt a little bit. He was in a Bratz Dolls movie. Principal Dimly.
It's another classic of the 2000s.
Yup. I mean, I don't think anything is like stood out as much. Obviously, you know, Fantastic Beasts, and then most recently, he is supposed to be in a film called JL Family Ranch 2, a film entitled Reagan. So I guess they're doing like a biopic on Ronald Reagan, and he's playing Victor Novikov. N-O-K, nope, that's not how it's spelled. Novikov. He's also supposed to be in a film titled Roe versus Wade. So he's getting into a lot of very interesting things right now.
I heard they were making a movie about that.
Yes, he is supposed to be Justice Berger. I am not making that one up. But yeah, he's been in 97. He has 97 acting credits.
Wow.
Yes, he has produced 4 things. Let's see. What did he produce? Nope. I don't think these did well. He produced a TV movie in 1998 called The Fixer, a film in 1999 called Baby Geniuses, a TV movie in 2000 called The Princess and the Barrio Boy, and in 2014, The Final Song.
Why does that sound familiar?
No idea. He did win 1 Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role in 1979 for the film Coming Home. which was released in 1978. He has been nominated 3 other times for Oscars. Most recently, Best Actor in a Supporting Role in 2002 for the film Ali. Best Actor in a Leading Role for Runaway Train, that was in 1986. And then Best Actor in a Leading Role in the 70s for Midnight Cowboy. He's been nominated for a couple of Golden Globes. It goes on and on. So some Emmys. It goes on and on. The man is accomplished, obviously. But on IMDb, it does say he is most known for Midnight Cowboy, Anaconda, which was released in 1997, Deliverance in 1972, and Runaway Train in 1985. So he's really more known for the older stuff. Okay. He's definitely not in anything groundbreaking at this point. Yeah. I feel like he's kind of reached his level where he's like, I'm going to do some films. I'm going to get that check, but I'm not going to stress too much about this. I'm not going to worry about it.
I feel like he's one of those guys that just shows up in like a whole bunch of films. You're like, oh, yeah, there's that guy.
Yes. Oh, he was born in Yonkers.
There you go. Neighbors.
Yes. His birthday is December 29th. And apparently his trademark that people recognize him for is his towering height. Because believe it or not, he is 6, well, I don't know why they consider this towering, I guess, but 6'2.5". So 6'2.5". I know. Isn't that interesting?
Huh.
And that's Jon Voight for you.
What a guy.
Yeah. I looked up Reagan. It says a drama based on the life of Ronald Reagan from his childhood to his time in the Oval Office.
Interesting.
And Dennis Quaid is playing Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
So I think that says everything we need to know about this project right now. I think that really just wraps it up in a nice little bow. We love our Fantastic Beasts actors, even if it's just the one film or for every film. And Jon Voight is definitely never an exception to that rule, because he's definitely one of those people when people had no idea what this film was about, that they saw and they were like, it's Jon Voight. It's great. Yep. Exactly as you were saying. And they were like, I recognize him. I would love to have sat in on that pitch meeting where they were like, it's going to be this Potter movie, but it's not Potter, and you can be American, and you don't have to do anything with magic. It's fine.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, did we have any other thoughts, or we think that pretty much wraps that up?
I think that's it, because that's National Treasure for you.
It just explains itself.
It does. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed. We'll probably hop to another cast member next. We have a bunch of Jude Law films and a bunch of Johnny Depp stuff. Oh, yeah. So we can definitely make our way on to the next scoundrel within this cast.
I'm really terrified for some of the Dan Fogler movies.
I'm not ready to watch any of the Dan films. I'm like, I am not. There's a reason why when we're like, what should we watch today? And it's never the Dan ones. It's never.
No.
I'm very intrigued, but I'm very nervous. But we love you, Dan. We do love you so much.
Lizzie, you might have to have a few margaritas before one of those.
I definitely think that's very fair. Well, thanks for watching a movie with me.
Thanks for watching a movie with me.
You're welcome. And when you watch this back and you see a point when I start laughing uncontrollably, it's because the cat ran straight against your back.